Good morning. How are you? If you're new to the channel, I'm Papa, and this is Papa Paints. And today I'm going to paint a greeting card using gouache paint. And the gouache is leftover from a painting I did a couple of days ago, so it's all dry. And I'm going to reactivate the gouache with water to create the painting. So it's basically a watercolor painting, but I'm not using paint that's labeled as watercolor. I'm using paint that's labeled as gouache. And I'm doing this painting. I know you just saw it, but let me show it to you again. And you see it is a greeting card. So it'll be a gift, probably one of the cards that I donate to the church. In November they have an art auction, so I'm trying to, between now and then, trying to accumulate 200 cards to donate to them. But I must tell you that this channel and these paintings are not really about painting. I don't think so. As I do these videos, it occurs to me that what this channel is about connecting with you. And there's something meditative about doing something that you have to focus on. In this case, it's paintings. But it could be jogging. It could be riding a bicycle. Something you have to focus on. Gives you an opportunity to meditate a little bit. And where you go in your brain, in your mind, where you meditate, what subject you meditate on is important. I think so many times people meditate on something that they're festering, that there's some anger that's going on inside of them. Well, try to not do that. try to meditate on something that's beautiful. Think about somebody in your life who's done something beautiful, who has helped you in some way. As I was painting this painting, my thoughts went in that direction. And it was guided by the song called Your Song by Elton John and Bernie Taupin. Particularly the line where he says, or he sings, "I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in the world." Wow, what a beautiful thing to say to somebody. I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in the world. How wonderful of a line is that? Bernie Taupin wrote it. Elton John put it to music so that we'd never forget it, to a beautiful melody. Oh my gosh, it's truly a gift. It's truly a gift from Elton and Bernie and from God, because I think that's something that beautiful must have been inspired by God. So, if you see nothing else in this video today, maybe it's about painting a card. Or maybe the card kind of symbolizes a way to let somebody know how beautiful or how wonderful life is while they're in the world. In fact, I think that would be such a great thing to write inside of the card. I just want you to know how wonderful life is while you're in the world. Elton John, Bernie Taupin, thank you so much for those words. All right, enough. Am I being too philosophical today? I don't know. Let me turn this camera off and start the video, because I just recorded the video of myself painting this one. It was a pretty easy one, by the way, from an art point of view, if you want to know the truth. So you can paint along if you want. All right. And thank you for being there. Let me show you how I did this right now. Good morning. I'm going to start with some fresh water I'm going to paint another greeting card. Oh, my brush must be... I must not have cleaned my brush because I have clean water, but it looks like dirty water. Oh well. Let me clean it a little bit more. Well, that's what happens when you don't clean the brush as good as you could. Anyway, how you guys doing? Today is Friday, and it's April 18th, I think. Yeah, April 18th. And it's about 6:30. It's exactly 6:30 a.m. on the Eastern Time Zone. And today I want to do just a reflective scene with some water, and keep it local. My reference photo is a photograph I took, oh gosh, a couple years ago, I guess, over in Citrus County, not too far from where my mom and dad used to have a house. It was an area called Beverly Hills. I know it's not the Beverly Hills. It's one here in Florida, but they loved it. They liked living there. My grandparents lived there. One in the 60s, same house, and my parents ended up with the house. So that's that whole story. Just gonna add some blue to the sky, and I think I'll add some oranges to the sky after that dries, because I don't like to add the orange while the blue is wet because it turns green. So, and then the water will be reflecting that same color once I get it all in there. So just put the color on top of the color. So this is the base colors of what we're doing here. Let's see, do I have green? Is that green right there? Yeah, I think that's green. Yeah. Alright, we'll take some of that green and some of this yellow. And I'm using gouache, but I'm using dried gouache, so it's behaving like watercolor. I guess you've seen that before. You take dried gouache, just reactivate it with water. And I'm painting a greeting card, which is something I've been doing. I've been doing that a lot, actually. I'll put a little bit of darkness down here. So you already see, just with that little bit of paint, you already see the composition of the sky, the foreground land here, and the water. Put a little definition right there, maybe. A little definition back there. And maybe some hint of shadows of trees right there. Yeah, this was a pond in Beverly Hills that is right up against the golf course. In fact, I think, since I was there, I think they built a, I don't know, like a lodge or whatever you call it, someplace where they have breakfast, some kind of a restaurant. Yeah. So you could already see what I'm attempting to do here. One of the hardest things about a Florida landscape, or a landscape from the southern United States, is the Spanish moss. I'm obviously not even attempting that yet, but I'll try to put it in here. There we go. A few things here and there. Alright, I'll let that, it's almost dry. I can add some orange to it now. So add some orange. I don't want it I don't want the orange and the blue to mix. So I'm just gonna dab it in there with a small brush. Maybe you're gonna add a little bit of red to that, make it a little bit more reddish orange. Whoops. So you gotta be careful not to put too much of one color, I think. Alright, let's get that watered down a little bit. There we go. That looks alright. Yeah, today's Good Friday. If you are a Christian, you celebrate the day that Jesus was crucified. It always seemed weird to me that we celebrate that day, but I get it. I mean, you don't need to explain it to me. I do get it. But I'm talking about when I was a kid. I always thought that was strange that we'd celebrate that day and call it good. I know. It's explained. I get it. But I suppose if you're a religious instructor, a pastor, or Sunday school teacher, I suppose I'm probably not the only kid. Well, I'm not a kid now, but I mean when I was a kid, I'm probably not the only one who wondered about that, and who you have to explain it to. So yeah, it's a very good thing. That's why it's called Good Friday. Alright, I'm going to keep that light nice and light. It looks dark right now. I'm going to keep it nice and light. Try to mix that down there too. There we go. And we got some orange and yellow sky and some blue sky. Blue skies shining on me. Nothing but blue skies do I see. Well, I gotta let it dry, I think. No, I think I can start with it. Let me start to add some more. See if I can get some like bright green in there for that grassy area where the golf course was. This was the very edge of a golf course here. Let's get some more paint. Put it in there. Let's keep adding yellow to it. Here we are again, painting a card. Here, my goal is to reach 200 cards by November. That's my goal. Let me add a little bit of red to that just to darken up, to desaturate the green. I don't want it to look red, I just want the red to kind of change the green a little bit. Make it like a shadow. You know that trick, right? Take red, mix it with green, and you have a nice color for the shadow. Yeah, see, now it looks green, it doesn't have that red look to it. Do the same thing over here. A darker green. There we go. Alright, now take some of this Payne's Gray. I think that's Payne's Gray right there. I think so. I'm going to darken this up right here. Make a nice landscape. A Florida morning. What do you call it? Florida sunrise. That's what we call it. Florida sunrise. Just put this foreground grass. When I was a kid, I mean a little kid, you know, not even a teenager yet, I used to visit my grandparents who lived in this very same place. Of course, back then there was nothing there. It was all, I think there was 2 streets, 2, maybe 4 streets, and the rest was all undeveloped, and it was a lot of fun for me and my brothers to walk around in the undeveloped. We didn't know it was undeveloped. We just thought it was, you know, a place. But we would go down to this lake, this very lake, absolutely, and just be there. We would go fishing, or at least try to. I don't know that we ever caught anything. But you want to know something weird? Like nowadays, we'd be so aware of alligators. I don't remember ever being aware of alligators. However, I do have a theory about that. I think back when I was a kid in Florida, the alligators were not as plentiful because they weren't protected. I think they were killed off almost completely. So I think that's probably why we didn't have to worry about them, or even were told about them. I don't remember ever worrying about them, but we'd take the boat out on the lake a lot. When I say the boat, it was a little, I guess they call it a John boat, a little rowboat. And my brother Bob and I, and my brother Bill and I got old photos someplace of us as kids wearing sunglasses out on a boat. Hey, if somebody took the picture, that means my grandfather was there. Yeah, if there's a picture of us, he was the one usually with the camera. So my memory of being there alone is probably not accurate. That's true. I didn't think of that till just now. But yeah, we weren't there alone. We couldn't have been there alone. They wouldn't let little kids go down to the lake alone. Oh gosh. How come I always thought, all these years, I always thought we were there alone, but now that I'm thinking about it, I wasn't there alone. Oh well. Sorry I'm carrying on about something so mundane. So mundane. Yeah, today we're going up to Gainesville. Robin's got a doctor appointment. Nothing to worry about, just a normal checkup. Gainesville is the city where the University of Florida is located. So we'll be in that vicinity. I know we're not going to the university, but it's actually a university hospital. We're not going to a hospital, but that's where the doctor's office is, if that makes sense too. Yeah, just making a little skyline here, skyline of trees. What was that song by Elton John, Skyline Pigeon? I always loved Elton John's early work. I was a big fan of his early work. I loved Elton John his whole career. But his early work was, I'm especially fond of his early work. I loved Your Song. I loved all the songs on Madman Across the Water, and Tiny Dancer. Oh my gosh. Leave On? Is that the name of the song? Leave on, please, cartoon balloons in town, something like that. Yeah, and Bernie, you can't really talk about Elton without talking about Bernie Taupin. His words were just so. If you were a young songwriter, you would listen to what Bernie's words were saying, and you'd say, "Gosh, where did he come up with that idea?" That is such a great song. I know Bernie Taupin doesn't really think much of the song Your Song. I think he called it contrived, but I love Your Song. It's such a beautiful song. I mean, the singer is saying, "I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in the world." That is a beautiful sentiment. Do you agree? I think so. How wonderful. I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is while you're in the world. That is just incredible. It's incredible in its simplicity. Maybe that's why Bernie wasn't so complimentary of his own words, but think about how beautiful and simple that is, and how emotionally packed that is to share with somebody. If you have somebody you care about, and you tell them, "Do you know how beautiful life is with you in the world?" Oh my gosh, that is a wonderful thing. I think I should remember to tell that to Robin. Do you know how beautiful life is with you in the world? That is a great idea. Maybe I'll tell that to Robin today. There's a bird out there. Should we tell that bird? Should we tell that bird, "Do you know how beautiful life is with you in the world?" I'll tell it to you. Do you know how beautiful life is with you in the world? You should think that. Life is beautiful with you in the world. I'm assuming I'm talking to you as an artist. And artists tend to be, I don't know, they feel like wallflowers. They go in the background. They don't feel like they contribute as much as they actually do. But maybe you need a little oomph. So I'm going to give you a little oomph, okay? Do you know the world is more beautiful because you're in it? Do you know that? See that bird whistling right there? That bird doesn't know. See that? Hear that? That bird doesn't know how beautiful life is because he or she is in the world. Man, that bird doesn't know. So you gotta tell it. You gotta say, life is beautiful because you're in the world. Oh, I love that. Bernie Taupin, you came up with a great line. Elton John, you set it to music so that none of us ever forget that line. That's what's beautiful about that. That collaboration between the songwriter, the music writer, and the lyricist. You guys did a great job, and you don't. I know you know that that's an important song to the world because it's pretty much what got your career going. But more importantly than that, you gave us something to use as a way to express something to the most important people in our lives. You gave us a way to express how beautiful life is while they're in the world. Oh my God, I hope you don't mind. I love that part of it. I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't mind that I put down the words. Oh my gosh. Elton and Bernie, thank you for that. That is truly, truly, truly. I never really stopped to really talk about that before. I've always just loved the song, but now that I'm thinking about it, this is one of the beauties of painting, I think. Or maybe painting and talking. It gives you a chance to really maybe explore something you never explored before. I'll put some little things here. Little pieces of grass here. Just use the tip of this brush. Oh my God. What a most beautiful sentiment, huh? hope you don't mind that I put down in words. Or is it how wonderful life is? How wonderful life is. Well, beautiful, wonderful. You could paraphrase it. You could still use it to say beautiful. Wonderful is great too. How wonderful life is. Yeah, wonderful. How wonderful life is. With you in the world. Yeah, tell somebody today how wonderful life is with them in the world. Put that, maybe I'll put that on the card. I hope you don't mind that I put down the words. Maybe this is your card. I'll call this your card. Is this card inadvertently, is that the right word? Is this card inadvertently being influenced by Elton John and Bernie Taupin? I think maybe it is. I think so. I'll call it your card. Yeah, I said I was going to do something with Spanish moss. Maybe I won't. I don't know. It kind of looks nice just like that, doesn't it? But I'm not happy with it yet. It's not done. It's not done. I gotta make this area darker, I think. Let me just take some more of this. I'll just kind of mix this blue and this Payne's gray. Make it a very dark blue. Because I want this to be somewhat of a reflection of that. Because if I keep this darker, then I can use light tones to create little light wisps of grass and such. Alright, let's just put something here. Let's get that a little hazy there. Let's water it down. And then we'll put some, maybe a little bit more. We'll absolutely have to put the reflections of the trees. We'll let that dry first. Just spread this around here. Yeah, that's a great way to do it. Just kind of keep it light. All these reflections of these trees. Hear the crows. Okay. More darkness over here. I'm only putting this darkness on here so that I can add the lightness. So I can add some light colors. that dry, and then I'll be able to add some light colored things over there. I think it is dry. Alright, let's see if I can do this now. Let me clean the brush. I'm going to add some of this very light pink color. Just get it really thick. So all of this paint that I'm using is dried up gouache, and you can reactivate gouache. I know I said that a lot. Let's put some little lines over here. Maybe they're reflections. Maybe they have the sun bouncing off of the palm trees. Hey, by the way, did you guys see the video? I put a real short video. I learned how to fold a palm frond, a palm branch. I learned how to fold one into a cross. And so I made a little video to show everybody how to do that. I didn't make up the design. That's something I learned from somebody else. But they were giving out palms at church last Sunday, I guess it was. And nobody seemed to know how to make it into a cross. It's a common thing, I guess, in churches. They fold them up into crosses, and it's really cool. So if you get a chance, look at it's a short. I think it's a short video. It's like 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, maybe. Yeah. There we go. Now we got a little bit more, somewhat of a foreground there for the trees over there. Maybe a little hint of Spanish moss. Okay, now let me see if I can get some white mixed in with some yellow and some very light orange. Let's see if that'll work. Yes, okay. It's working. Just to kind of make some more grass over here, but this is the grass being hit by the light. So it's up against the dark. I was listening to that song that Elton John did with Brandy Carlisle, and that's another good one too. That the teaming of the two mixed with the writing of Bernie and Brandy, it's really a nice formula. It's a nice formula. I guess I would call it a formula. All right, let me get some more white over here. Let me lighten up this grass a little bit. See if I can get some very light. I probably could use some yellow straight out of the tube, but I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to keep it just like it is. Put some more foreground grass over here. Let's see if I can get this white in there. Let me make it darker now. If we came here to learn, then we're teaching each other. You ever think that? That sometimes teachers become the students. I don't consider myself a teacher at all, by the way. I am a retired radio guy, that's what I am. And I happen to be painting pictures. And I'm Papa because of my grandson. That's who I'm, Papa. So I just say that because I've had a couple of people wrote negative things and told me I wasn't that great. And I told Robin, I said, why do people write stuff like that? And she said, don't let it worry you. So I won't. You guys have told me don't let it worry you. You guys have told me that. I have a support group everywhere. Well, what do you think? You think that's done? What do you think? That's not a bad looking landscape, huh? The old lake down by Beverly Hills, where I used to go before it became a golf course. Alright, I think I'll leave it like that. That looks nice. That was pretty simple to do. Plus, I gotta go. I gotta get to the doctor's office. Alright, I'll talk to you later. Thank you for being there. And I hope you don't mind if I tell you how wonderful life is while you're in the world. Thank you, Elton John. Thank you, Bernie Taupin. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.